guys, it's Angela, and today I'm going to be telling you about all the books I want to read in the month of April. So this month, during April, G from the channel Book Roast is hosting the O.W.L.S Readathon, and this is her third year doing it. I didn't get to participate last year, I just missed it, and I was super disappointed about that, so I'm really excited to be able to participate this year. So for this readathon, it is Harry Potter themed. I will have her channel and her announcement video linked down below because I know personally I'm not going to be able to explain it well, so why even try if I'm just going to butcher it? So check out her video linked down below if you're interested in joining. And this year I want to be a healer. So the healer career has 8 prompts, and I chose this, 1, because it had a lot of prompts and I kind of wanted to be ambitious, but then 2, because I was a nursing student before I was an English major, and obviously that didn't work out. So maybe it'll work out in the wizarding world. Hopefully. Anyway, let's get into it. So there are 5 prompts that are mandatory for this career, and then there are 3 additional prompts that you get to choose. So first let's start with the 5 mandatory. And the first class is herbology. And the prompt for that is to read a book that has an animal with a beak on the cover. And for that I chose Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. This is going to be my first time reading this book. I've spent the last 2 months reading the Hunger Games series for the first time and really enjoying it. And so I plan to pick this book up this month regardless. And so yeah, it just fits perfectly and I'm really excited. I loved Catching Fire and I've heard a lot of mixed things about Mockingjay. So I'm excited to get into it and see where I fall. My next class is Defense Against the Dark Arts, and the prompt for that was to choose a book that is set on the coast or in the sea. And for that I chose A Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee. This book is the sequel to A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, and it follows Monty's sister, Felicity, who really wants to be, I think she wants to be a doctor, and it's a historical fiction novel, so during that time that's not a thing. And so it's about her trying to pursue that career. And I'm 99.9% sure it's set on the sea because in the synopsis it says something about something lurking in the Atlantic. So I'm 99.9% sure that this is set on the sea, or a portion of it is. And if I'm wrong, then yikes, that's on me. But I think it is. So yeah, this is one of the 20 books I want to read in 2020. And I'm excited to pick it up, and I hope I like it just as much. The next class is Transfigurations, and for that the prompt is to pick a book that features shape-shifting. And for that I picked Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. This was my only option. This is the only thing that I have on my shelves that I haven't read that features shape-shifting, and I do want to read it. I wasn't planning to read it this month just because it's 800 pages, and what really grinds my gears about we'll say Sarah J. Maas books compared to Cassandra Clare books are that this book is 800 pages, and it's those Bible pages that are super thin, and it just, when I read books like that, it just isn't as satisfying because you read 100 pages and it looks like this, and it just makes me feel like I'm not making progress. Anyway, you don't care about that. You're here for the book. So Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas is a adult fantasy. This is her first adult fantasy. And it's very paranormal, which I'm excited for. So obviously it features shapeshifters, and it follows our main character, Bryce, whose best friends have been murdered, I think by some demon or some paranormal magical person. And she is trying to investigate and find out what happened to her friends, what the circumstances were. And then she pairs up with this guy who is a fallen angel. I've heard really good things about this book. I've also heard that it's kind of info dumpy at times, and I don't know, with everything going on right now, I feel like my brain might not do so good with this in the sense of building this whole new fantastical world, and just how stressed and anxious I am. I feel like I might not be able to pay attention as well. But we're going to give it a try because I've heard great things. The next class is Potions, and the prompt for that is to read a book under 150 pages. And for that, I'm going to be reading The Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. I actually ordered this on Amazon when I was figuring out what career I was going to do because I didn't have anything on my shelves that was under 150 pages, and I wanted to read this anyway. And it's so big. You see it online and it doesn't look that big, but oh my god, it's bigger than my head. So that was overwhelming. Anyway, this is like super short. I've heard nothing but amazing things. I mean, clearly you can tell from the cover that the artwork is beautiful. If I'm being quite honest, I don't really know what this is about. I'm obviously assuming that it has to do with dragons and that it's fantastical, and clearly there's like representation in here. So I'm really excited to read it, and I'm glad that I ordered it, but again, I'm shook at how big it is. The final required class for being a healer is Charms, and the prompt for that is to read a book with white on the cover. So for that, I've chosen Girl, Serpent, Thorn by Melissa Barthouse. I'm sorry, I don't really know how to say her last name, but I just recently got an ARC of this, and I'm super excited to read it. The cover is absolutely stunning, and it's white, and the YA snake has made another appearance, but in white. And this is about a princess who has a poisonous touch. So because of that, she's sort of like tucked away, kept away from everybody, obviously, because she has a poisonous touch. And down below where she lives in the dungeon is a demon who knows some information about her and how to help her. So she basically has to decide what she wants to do, if she wants to try to become a human and be a princess or become a monster. So that makes me so excited that she's like flipping between like, do I want to be a princess or do I want to be like a full-blown monster? I am super excited. This book comes out on May 12th and I think I'm gonna love it. So those were the 5 required courses that you have to take to be a healer, but now there are 3 more courses that you have to take, but you get to choose which courses they are. So I've chosen History of Magic, and the prompt for that is to read a book that features witches. And for that, I'm going to be reading Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahindran. If you've been watching my channel for a minute, you've probably seen this in a couple of TBRs because it's been in a couple of TBRs. I haven't started it or anything. I just keep putting it in TBRs and not reading it. So this month, I'm going to read it. This is one of the 20 books that I want to read in 2020. This features witches. It has to do with a witch, I think, who was bound in holy matrimony to a witch hunter. So I don't know if there's going to actually be like a hate to love romance. I really don't know. But what I do know about this book is that there are a lot of opinions on it, and it's like very polarizing. Like either people like love it or they hate it. So I'm really excited to see where I fall into the mix. And again, I have to stop putting this on TBR videos, so hopefully this will be the last time you see this in a TBR video. The next class is Astronomy, and the prompt for that is to read a book only at night. And for that, I've chosen The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. This is another book from that 20 books I need to read in 2020 video. So there's kind of a theme going on. But yeah, this book I plan to read only at night, and actually on Audible, they have an Audible exclusive audiobook for this, so I don't know if I'm just going to listen to the audiobook or physically read it or do both. But either way, I'm really excited to pick this up. I've heard great things about this book. This is a dystopian novel that follows a society where women are only valued for how fertile they are, how well their reproductive organs work. So basically, like, their purpose is to bear children and bring life into the world, and if for some reason they can't, they're seen as drastically less valuable. So I think that that's very interesting. As you can see from the cover, this is the Hulu TV show tie-in edition, and I've heard great things about the show, but I kind of wanted to read the book first, and with the current circumstances of the world, I've got time to do both. So yeah, super excited to pick this up. And the last class I have is Arithmancy, and the prompt for that is to read a book outside of your favorite genre. Except for, like, I don't know what my favorite genre is. I feel like I read so many different genres and enjoy so many different genres. So I sort of tweaked it, I guess, a little bit, if that's allowed. I don't know. But I'm going to pick a book from a genre that I don't read a lot of, / I want to read more of. That seems okay. So for that, I've chosen Death Note Volumes 5 and 6. So as you can see, it says 3 on the cover, but this is like the 3rd bind-up, and it has Volumes 5 and 6. This is the first manga series I've actually picked up. I mean, I've read more since then, but like this series is like the first. And this follows a guy named Light, and he finds this notebook, and within this notebook you can write down the name of any person and they'll die. So he sort of gets like a power trip from this because now he has all of this power, and he starts writing in serial killers and people in jail and whatnot. And yeah, it follows him and the little death god whose notebook he has, and it's very morally gray. I really enjoyed the first 4 volumes, so I'm excited to read the 5th and 6th. So those are the 8 books that I'd like to read during the month of April, and I really hope that I'm successful in doing so. Not to spoil my March wrap-up, but I did read 20 books in March, so I figured that I could read 8 in April. It's just Crescent City that's sort of given me some good old heart palpitations, but it's fine. It'll be fine. Anyway, I'm super excited to be participating in the Owls. If you're also participating, let me know down below like what career you're gonna do or just whatever. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching and have a good one.